Hey there, this is Greg from LOVESEATMARRIAGE.COM. You're listening to The Wife Whisperer. Oh my goodness, ladies, buckle up. Put on your big girl pants. Fire in the hole! From that really deep, unfiltered place in Greg's brain. The second brain. As a new marriage blogging couple, we want to shed light on the fact that we are in no way immune to marital struggles. Just because we feel called to share about marriage with others does not mean we are neither perfect for the gig nor well seasoned in every facet of where God is leading us. We are never stating that we are authorities or experts on marriage. We're simply sharing our thoughts and progress as we learn. So please walk this out with us as we learn diligently about marriage and God's intentions within it and for it. We had a really tough start to this month in our relationship. Probably our worst ever from my perspective. Monday morning began with me blubbering and begging Lisa during what I view as our most heated fight ever. Later that evening, things had calmed a bit, but nothing had resolved for certain. Just our tempers had subsided. That night our family began to watch The Dog Whisperer on Netflix for the first time. During the first episode I'd ever seen, I kept thinking how profoundly familiar this stuff was resonating with the Bible when it comes to Ephesians 5:22 through 33. As I mentioned, my wife and I have been going through some very difficult times as of late, and I could not keep my mind from contemplating if or how I could use something from this show to apply it to marriage. As we try to figure things out, my wife keeps concluding that she's missing out on affection. I'm so willing to give it to her, but I'm very confused. I kept noticing that Caesar, the host of the show, often refers to affection with the dogs and when it is appropriate. Now, mind you, at this time, I do not feel that this lines up with how to treat a woman, especially my wife. But if I look in the Bible, does it? I made a joke about it to a friend the next day, only to find out that he had had similar thoughts. He even knew the Dog Whisperer's name. We had a few laughs about the show and how it applied to marriage. That next evening, my wife and I were watching it again, and she says, "Imagine if this could be applied to marriage counseling." I still didn't say anything because I had felt very rude about my thoughts and jokes, and even for myself having such a perspective. But I was floored that she too was making the same observations. The third morning, while letting my wife catch up on some much-needed sleep, it finally happened. I went to Google and typed in The Wife Whisperer. I found an article at fullofgraceseasonedwithsalt.blogspot.com titled Wife Whisperer is Back. Before you go and read this article that I found, I want you to know a few things. Number one, I was shocked in a good way after reading it for the third time to find out that the author is a wife, not a husband. Also, I want to preface reading her article with one poignant thing she says in her article. She says, "If you are offended by my woman/dog analogies, please don't start barking at me. It only proves my point." This girl's brilliant. Number two, my own thoughts before you read this article. As a child, my parents raised and sold wolf puppies for some accidental extra income. So I was quite interested in the wolves' behaviors and understanding their instincts. When I went to our elementary school library with my class, I often checked out books on grafting, which now blows my mind for marriage and stepfamily concepts, and of course, wolf behavior books, dog behavior books, and books about understanding the social behaviors of pack animals. I'm not a dog person per se. I was just very interested to know that you could understand a wolf better by knowing simply how it held its tail, for instance. Now, if another species wrote a book on human behavior, the basics would not necessarily include our words, nor emotions, nor chivalry, and all our customs. It would simply inform the reader at first about our instincts and behaviors. When it comes to our basic animal instincts, as a chivalrous man, I like to hold the door for my lady. Now think about this peculiar potential. Instinctively, without words, she enters the doorway with no idea what is on the other side, which puts her instincts in the position of a protector, checking for danger and making sure the coast is clear for the gentleman who just held the door and motioned her through it. Now from the world's perspective, oh, how sweet of you! Now, if we were in primitive times, would you also let her have the first taste of every wacky plant you came across, so that if anyone were to get sick or die from it, it would not be you? I honestly considered that women might, without realizing it, feel they need to take the position of alpha, since you are sending her into the position anyway, as she enters that doorway to be sure you are safe. You chivalrous, coward. Just playing, guys. After reading the article from Full of Grace Seasoned with Salt.blogspot.com titled Wife Whisperer is Back, I told my wife about these thoughts and let her know that as I stop opening the door for her to enter first, I plan to enter doorways first to see what it does to her sense of provision, protection, and my assumed role as pack leader, as mentioned in the article from the link I gave you. The point of this whole concept of pack leader is not to treat another person less, and that is not what this fellow blogger is suggesting. The point is to take biblical knowledge, combined with understanding our animal instincts, social behavior, and applying it to assist one another to function to our fullest benefit and potential. When a man does not live up to these biblical wisdoms, it is possible, right or wrong, for a woman to instinctively take the role from him due to instinctively feeling as though there is no one to submit to properly according to what the Bible instructs her to do. On a related but side note, I also remember observing guys in high school dating girls and seeing how rude and ignorant and unaware of how to be polite to the girls they were. And the girls ate it up. They love these guys that ignorantly act insensitive, entering the doors before the girl, taking the first bite of everything. I think that by mistake, these types of guys accidentally make the girls feel protected and cared for through instincts and not through outward chivalry. Gentlemen, rise up and strive to be worthy of the submission. I want to encourage you to learn what it means to authentically lead your pack. Let Lisa and I know what you think by commenting at LOVESEATMARRIAGE.COM. Follow us on Twitter to be kept up to date on new blog posts and fresh audio blogs as soon as we upload them by engaging us at twitter.com/LVSTMRRG. Like us on Facebook by going to facebook.com/LoveSeatMarriage.